We are a combination of genetics and experiences through life. Little accidents, sports we do, many different things we go through. Little things we don't see as important at the moment they happen. But once they happen, they give us some sort of imprint, and they change the way we move and the way our body works. As these little accidents gradually mix with our genetics, they make everything different inside of us. And all this combination of the practice, touching little accidents, major accidents, trauma, and the genetic pattern, that for me is what builds a proper practice. It always has to be designed to consider all that history. In a room with 20, 30 different students, even more, the teacher has to always consider that. Instead of to be teaching a large group, the teacher has to be teaching 20 or 30 different privates at the same time. The way the teacher will define the pressure in each of those students, the way the teacher will be leading the class and guiding them, using their names, increasing or diminishing pressure here and there, and the way the teacher has to keep in mind all the different histories in each student will determine that this class is not a big class. It's actually 20 or 30 different private classes happening at the same time in the same place.
You can be doing the pose, but it's still more important to have it in the middle of the sequence. And the sequence is doing something for your hips, for your spine, for the whole structure of the body, and the pose is in the middle of that. Learning from what your body is not able to do. You have to find all the areas of the restrictions and what the body doesn't do, and then find this freedom that yoga says that it is there, and it's definitely there. But not from the sensation of having reached the pose. Getting? So it's not from, oh, I have reached Trikonasana, or I have reached Shirshasana, I can do it, I feel much better. No, it's not the case. It's the opposite. So even if you do a Shirshasana, what is the point of doing that? Why would you do that? So then it comes with a sequence that is logical, that is very deep in every tissue, in every aspect of the body. So at the same time you will be working on the ankles and on the knees and on the hips and the joints and the spine, but also the internal organs and also the nervous systems and also the circulatory system. So everything is going to be treated at the same time. So once it's treated and once you see that the body is improving in health, then you see the balance coming and then you see the mind changing.
Francisco, he has a lot of love doing what he does, and that touches me, because when somebody is doing something from the heart, it's true, it's very true and clear. Have somebody, a lot of skills, but cold person, you don't feel, you don't have you don't get in touch, you don't connect with the person. But with him it's different, and Luciana also. I had an injury in my shoulder because I used to swim a lot since I was a kid, and all my life I loved to swim. So one day I arrived here and I couldn't move my shoulder. I couldn't lay down on my shoulder. It was very, very bad. And I went to the doctor, made the exams, and the doctor said, you might have to do an operation. And it was something serious, but now only with yoga, it's good. I do everything and it's now healed, almost healed. I feel a little bit sometimes, but it's amazing.
This practice has a lot of long holds in it. When you have long sustained poses, it's easier to be able to correct and have it be individual. Like, okay, this person needs their foot a little bit out here, this person needs this, and you have time to do that. If somebody has some kind of pain afterwards, they can go back and see what the sequence was and trace it back and see how to modify it, right? That's scientific. It's having a method and then proving the method. There's a very quiet environment in the space. So I feel like that's something they're doing deliberately and that they're doing well and that people are really benefiting from.
I've seen sometimes in the yoga room, people saying, ultimately, you have to be responsible for your body. And in here, we see exactly the opposite. We don't want the student to be responsible for their body. We want them to be able to relax, and we are responsible. Independence doesn't have the same value in here. So if they have an injury, I don't want them not even defining the amount of pressure they can deal with. This makes our work a little bit harder, although at the same time, this gives them the opportunity of doing yoga that's supposed to be done with a student and a teacher. If you have to be responsible, then part of your mind has to be the teacher as you were being a student, and that I don't see as productive.